Hi, yes, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday, December 20th. A lot to talk about here. A very active weather pattern for the nation as a whole, not only for the next couple of days, but right through next week as well. Right now, there's a blizzard raging in the upper part of the Midwest. That storm will send a powerful cold front into the eastern states overnight tonight. We'll get some heavy rain here right along the I-95 corridor, possibly some thunder mixed in and some strong gusty winds. Very strong winds are likely here in the Mid-Atlantic region tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, right through the day on Saturday, as well as colder conditions move into the eastern states. Meanwhile, there can be a storm system to deal with early next week, Monday night, Christmas Eve into the early part of Tuesday now for the Mid-Atlantic region. There's increasing signs of this as a real possibility. Some snow or maybe a mixed bag in the Mid-Atlantic region, and then a even more important storm looks like it's still in the offing for the middle part of next week, and we talked about the possible more of a southern route or southern track for that storm, yielding a colder solution, and the evidence is mounting for that to happen. So let's get right into all of this right now. Here's the latest surface map, a powerful storm situated over the Missouri-Illinois border. Heavy snow falling right now across Iowa and much of the southern half of Wisconsin. Just south of Madison, Wisconsin, last hour they had almost 9 inches of snow recorded already with 30-mile-per-hour winds. It's warm enough for rain right now in Chicago, but they too will get in on all the action in terms of snow and wind. Later on today, they'll change over to snow, and we'll have heavy snow and blowing snow tonight with winds gusting up to 40 or 50 miles per hour. Meanwhile, this storm will send a powerful cold front right to the east coast in the overnight hours with some heavy rain and possible thunder and strong gusty winds associated with that right along the I-95 corridor, especially after midnight into the early part of Friday. Here's the latest infrared satellite loop from the SSEC Wisconsin website. Full-fledged blizzard raging right now in the upper part of the Midwest. Lots of comma-shaped cloud pattern right here with clouds headed into the east now, and some heavy rainfall in the Ohio Valley and heavy snow on the back side of this low. Again, heavy snow up to a foot or more easily will fall by the time all is said and done across portions of Wisconsin and Iowa into the upper part of Michigan over the next 12 to 24 hours, and 40 to 50 mile-an-hour wind gusts are likely associated with this blizzard raging down from the north to the south, so over Lake Michigan, for example. Chicago will get in on the snow tonight, heavy snow and blowing snow. Meanwhile, another storm right here over the Pacific Northwest with some heavy snow in the higher elevations and heavy rain along the coast. And here's another system spinning in the atmosphere right here off the Canadian west coast. Here's a quick look at the nation as a whole in terms of the radar image. All of this here is rain on the heavy side. Here's some strong thunderstorms mixed in the Ohio Valley. This is what sweeps to the east coast tonight. Very heavy rain later on tonight, on the order of 1 to 2 inches in a short amount of time, perhaps a 6-hour period. It could rain so hard it'll affect the morning rush hour in, let's say, New York City, as that might be the peak of the rainfall right around 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. Heavy rain in Philadelphia and Washington, D.C., especially after midnight as this front moves through. Can be a rumble or two of thunder and some strong gusty winds. On the backside of this surface low, heavy snow falling right now across northwestern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, and eastern half of Iowa. Again, 9 or 10 inches of snow has already been recorded. It's not near over with either in the Madison area, for example. Meanwhile, out in the northwest, another storm system in this very active pattern producing heavy rain and heavy snow. Well, let's try to quickly go through some computer forecast maps for the upcoming events. First of all, we'll deal with the upfront event here of a strong cold frontal passage. This is last night's GFS model run forecast map for tomorrow morning. By this time, that main storm associated with the heavy snow out in the upper part of the Midwest is situated now over the eastern part of the Great Lakes. A powerful cold front sweeping to the east coast by the early morning hours with some heavy rain and possible thunderstorms associated with that frontal passage and some strong gusty winds. These gusty winds will continue Friday afternoon, Friday night, cause a significant lake effect snow event for the mountains of, let's say, western Pennsylvania, West Virginia, northern Pennsylvania, even in central Pennsylvania, they may have some accumulating snow from this lake effect. And there certainly can be some snow showers making it all the way south and east down to the I-95 corridor anytime from Friday afternoon, Friday night into the day on Saturday. But heavy snow upwind, upstream from the Mid-Atlantic region in the mountainous regions of West Virginia and western Pennsylvania all the way up into the western part of New York State. Well, here's the kind of a new storm system to deal with, and there still is a little bit of hope here for a white Christmas in parts of the Mid-Atlantic region. We'll have to monitor this over the next few days. This is the computer forecast map from last night's Zero-Z GFS model run for Christmas Eve, Monday night. And lo and behold, we have a low-pressure area. Decent cold air. It's a close call here. This is kind of a rain-snow line here. Not a major storm by any means, but it's an important storm because it actually may make things a little bit colder for the next storm, the Big Kahuna, that comes in the middle part of next week. So a threat for a little bit of light snow Monday night into early Tuesday, Christmas Eve and Christmas morning, possibly a mixed bag in parts of the Mid-Atlantic region. We'll, of course, monitor this over the next couple of days. Now let's talk a couple of minutes about the big storm potential for the middle part of next week. Again, that forerunner storm, Christmas Eve and Christmas morning, will not be a major storm, but it nonetheless can be an important storm. It may actually bring in a little bit colder air, setting things up for the next storm, which is about the middle part of next week. This is the European model run for Sunday evening in the middle part of the atmosphere, 500 millibars, and we pointed this out over the last couple of days. Kind of have a blocking pattern setting up here. This is an upper level low situated here in southeastern Canada and an upper level high to its north right here. And this is what we call a Rex block. Rex is the name of the meteorologist that first identified this, and it could very well play a very important role in this storm come the middle part of next week, because what tends to happen is storms that pull out of the south have a tough time running into this kind of a block in the upper part of the atmosphere. Some of the models are having difficulty here with this setup of what we call a Rex block in the early part of next week. Now, what is more likely to happen is there will be a storm maybe headed into the Ohio Valley, and that'll kind of run into this roadblock, weaken, and transfer some energy to a secondary development off the Mid-Atlantic coast or somewhere in this region, and that will yield a colder solution for the Mid-Atlantic regions. So all this has to play out, but there's a lot of potential in the Mid-Atlantic region for this particular system come the middle part of next week. And this Rex blocking pattern in the upper part of the atmosphere may very well play a crucial role to the ultimate track of this storm, rather than a Great Lakes runner, more of a coastal storm, could set up by the middle part of next week. Well, one last sequence of charts to focus in on that midweek storm next week. This is from last night's GFS ensemble run, and already I think we're starting to see the models have a kind of a different storm track for this particular storm. It's now starting to maybe pick up on this Rex block. This is the surface map from the European model run for next week. It's actually Tuesday evening, and here's the beginnings of that storm here, way over the deep south. This map and the next couple coming from the Raleigh Weather website. And notice here it's in the deep south. Now, we've got a cold, very cold air mass here in southern Canada with very strong high pressure. That high kind of extends itself down into the Mid-Atlantic region as well as down into the central U.S. This is a kind of a classic cold air damming situation where cold air pours into the eastern part of the country, especially on the eastern side of the mountains, with this strong high pressure ridge poking into the northeastern part of the country. Now, if we jump ahead 24 hours, and here we go, notice that last night's GFS ensemble run now has a storm system right along the Carolina coast. Prior ensemble runs and prior GFS model runs had it running from Louisiana right into the Great Lakes region, but a big change here in the GFS ensemble runs. Again, I think it's starting to pick up that blocking pattern in the atmosphere. This allows for cold air to stay more entrenched in the Mid-Atlantic region. Let's now jump ahead 24 hours later. And here you go, that particular storm moves off the east coast. So there's a lot of potential here with this particular storm come the middle part of next week. A lot of activity, first of all. Powerful cold front sweeps through the eastern states tonight. Kind of sets off a pattern change. We do not get bitter cold, but we It'd certainly get colder with some strong winds Friday afternoon right through Saturday. Then a forerunner type storm may affect the mid-Atlantic region Christmas Eve and early Christmas morning, and then a bigger storm, a stronger storm with lots of moisture, is still in the offing for the middle part of next week. Stay tuned to the SIweather.com. A lot going on. I'm the SI meteorologist, Paul Dorian.